Okay friends, we are going to be making some polar bears. I'm really excited for this. We're going to start with a washable marker. You're going to cap that on the back, and we are going to start to draw the shapes for our polar bear. So I'm going to start in the middle of the paper. I made sure my paper is the long way, and I'm going to start with my nose. My nose is going to be an oval, so right in the middle of my paper I'm going to draw an oval. And then I'm going to do another oval inside at the top. I'm going to color around that with my washable marker. And what will happen is I created a little highlight or a little shine on my nose. So I left that little oval white. Okay, now I'm going to do just 2 curves below that for the lips. And I'm going to go around this now to do the outer portion of my nose, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of a pear shape. So how that's going to work, friends, is you're going to start with a curve right under here like this, and then I'm going to go up to the around the nose, but I'm going to kind of angle in a little bit. See how I did that? Same thing here. I'm going to angle in and try to meet back to that other one. Now I'm going to do 2 little circles for my bear's eyes, and I'm going to go around all of this and make a big circle. So I'm going to go all the way around, and I want to try to meet back to where I was. I'm now going to do a half circle above here for the ears, another half circle for the inside of the ear. So I'm going to do that on both sides. Now I'm going to come down here and do my paws before I do the back of my bear, and those are going to be half circles that come at the bottom of the page. And then inside those, I'm going to do 3 little lines. I'm going to now come around the head like this. And then I'm going to come all the way down to my paw on both sides, the outside part of my paw. We're now going to do a curve that connects to the bottom of the paws like this. And I'm going to do a little curve for the tummy that goes in this direction. All right, friends, we're going to be using a wet paintbrush with just some water, and because this is washable marker, what's going to happen is some of this marker is going to bleed. It's going to create some gray areas. Sometimes it looks a little bit greenish just because of the way the washable marker is, but that's okay. What we're creating is shadows. So basically a shadow is anywhere on my bear where there's not a lot of sunlight touching. A lot of times anywhere there's creases, like where different parts of the polar bear connects, is going to have a shadow. So again, the shadow is where there's no sun touching. So I'm just going to go around the edge and maybe look like there's some shadow from the fur coming around the outside edge of the body. So you're going to take that wet paintbrush and you're going to go around all your outlines, and you're going to get a nice little bleed of color. And you'll see it kind of gets almost like a greenish blue, but that's okay. Shadows sometimes are blue. So I'm going to go around my feet, and notice how I'm trying to, when I paint, my friends, I'm trying to paint with that paintbrush on the inside of my lines. If I go on the outside of my line, it's going to look like I have a shadow forming outside his body, which, you know, isn't going to happen. So I'm going to go around here. We want to stay away from the nose and the eyes because we don't want the eyes to have any color bleeding. So you want to try to stay away from that, okay? You can get this part of the nose. But look what happens if I go over my eye. Oh, I got shadows and spots I didn't want. So I have my shadows done. You're also going to go in and do a little line coming from your bear for your snow and pull some water on that to create some shadows in your snow as well. So we have our shadows in there. We are going to do our backgrounds and our warm highlights on our polar bear where the sun is going to be hitting. Where do you think we're going to add those warm colors next time in our polar bear? Right, you want to add those in the areas where there are no shadows, because that's the opposite. Wherever the shadows are, the highlights are going to be in the other spots. So this is dried now, my friends. You're going to go in with a yellow crayon, and in your areas that do not have shadows, very lightly and gently, we're just gonna add in a few areas of our white polar bear some yellow to make it look like there's some of the sun, the color of the sun casting light on our polar bear. And you can even do a little bit in your snow. Now I'm going to do the background, friends, and for the background I want you to think about those warm and cool colors we've talked about in art. I want you to pick either warm or cool colors, and you're going to decorate your background with those however you like. In mine, I chose some cold colors, but in this one, I think I'm gonna pick out warm colors so you can see. So my warms again are my orange, red, and yellow. And for this, we're just gonna color the background part around my polar bear. I'm gonna start with my first warm. I'm staying outside the polar bear. I'm outlining around the shape. Now I'm gonna go in with my next warm. So again, you choose either warm or cools to kind of color in that background. I'm just going in and coloring in the lines and filling up that little empty space we have nicely. So it's gonna create a different mood too. If you're looking at my two pictures here, my friends, you can tell that one's gonna make you feel a little warm and toasty, like it's hot outside. Usually where the polar bears are, it's not usually warm, but we can use our imaginations. And the other one's gonna make it look like it's a little chilly outside. Which one do you think makes it look a little chilly outside? What colors do you think kind of make us feel cold? Right, the cool colors are gonna make us feel cold, whereas the warm colors are gonna make us feel warm. So you're gonna pick one or the other that you want to choose for your background, and then that is it, my friends. That's the end of this project.